I made this quick little video in December 2025 as we're told that BBC Radio 4 long-wave transmissions will shortly be closing down here in the UK. Only a few years ago there were several long-wave stations available in the United Kingdom aside from BBC Radio 4, which included Ireland's RTE Radio 1, which ceased broadcasting on April 2023, along with the French-speaking RTL broadcast from Luxembourg, which closed down in January 2023. Time of writing, there are actually 3 long-wave transmitters in operation for the BBC Radio 4 transmissions, broadcasting on 198 kHz. The main 500 kilowatt one being situated in Droitwich in Worcestershire, England, with another 2 smaller ones in Scotland at Westerglen and Burghead. Bearing in mind that the Radio 4 shipping forecast on longwave is being broadcast primarily for fishing vessels in the North Sea, I thought it would be of interest to see just how far one could reliably receive these transmissions. This plan coincided nicely with the planned sea voyage down to Morocco, North Africa, which would clearly make this easy to execute. So as not to consider I might be considered cheating with the receiver to be used, I took along with me on the voyage a small portable transistor radio from the early 1970s with which to monitor the broadcast on a daily basis. This set would be utilised with just its directional internal ferrite aerial. The first test was an easy one as we're just off Brest in Brittany, northwest France, some 300 miles line of sight from the transmitter in Droitwich and about to cross into the waters of the Bay of Biscay. Here we can see that even though the ferrite rod aerial is directional, the received signal is so powerful that one can almost use a set facing in any direction.
She says in other visions she touches him, she feels him. And yes, perhaps we might want to talk in modern terms about it being the product of some kind of mental illness.
About 400 miles later, we're roughly on level with La Corona in northwest Spain. The weather is quite blowy. As you can see from the signal from Droitwich, it is becoming far more directional, though it's still being received at quite a good volume on our little set. Well, as this is the radar room channel, I guess I should have known better than trying to avoid the wind noise in this particular location on top of the vessel. We're currently on level with Lisbon, Portugal, and as you can see, the signal is still quite legible at approximately 1,000 miles from Droitwich as the crow flies. This is Casablanca, Morocco, situated approximately 1,300 miles line of sight from the Droitwich transmitter here in the UK. Sadly, the reception of our set is now too weak to realistically be heard through the speaker, what with all the background noise, etc. So at least on a positive note, there are a couple of local long wave stations that can be received on other frequencies. Reducing that 1,300 miles to some 1,150 miles, this spot in Tangier, North Morocco, is letting us hear just about the dialogue from Radio 4 longwave. Perhaps if it was slightly quieter or had a little bit slightly better aerial, or maybe use an earphone, you could probably follow that okay. Well, that's all I can show you in this video about the maximum signal coverage from the Droitwich longwave transmitter. So weather's quite rough on the passage home, just enjoy a couple of these big waves. Thanks for watching.